Good evening, students. Very good evening to all of you. Good evening, Akruti madam. And good evening, Ankita.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. Yes, students, this is to inform you, rather, we are going to start a fortnight program. Can you all see see this? We have on the screen for you that we are organizing. Can you see, all of you?
It's
Akruti madam,
visible,
is
sir.
it visible
It's
to you?
visible. It's visible, sir.
Yes, okay, thank you. So this is for you students. There would be, first of all, the most important information is that there is QR code for this program. You need to scan and then register for this. That's very, very important. This is the program is uh, a fortnight program which will start from 12th November for intermediate students, and for final students you can inform your friends. That will start from 11th November. The total program starts from 11th November and ends on 24th November. That is its fortnight approximately. For intermediate, so far as the intermediate is concerned, the program will start on 12th November and will end on 24th November. And for this particular subject, auditing and ethics, that is 22nd November. Now, what the program is all about, students. The program would be, it will start at 3 p.m. The program will start at 3 p.m. Just you note the timings, note the date. That's very, very important. Make it sure that you attend the program. The program is now each and every student, because this is CA examination, students face difficulties in the subject. They come across various issues while studying the particular paper, and they face issues, they face difficulties, and they are not able to make any strategy that how should we proceed. The basic question, various questions, uh, uh, various questions are coming to your mind as doubts. Now, we at the Board of Studies students have enough experience, and we and mo most learned and experienced faculties will clear your doubts. Any sort of doubt you can ask in the session. Uh, Conceptual, if you are having conceptual doubts, you can clarify those doubts also. If you are feeling that this particular chapter is difficult, we have also issued one Google form. We have sent one Google form to each one of you. You can fill those form also. So make sure that you uh, get registered through QR code, and secondly, you fill up the Google form. Google form is about the probable questions the students are having in their mind, probable problems the students face while preparing for the examination. So students, आपकी जो भी problems हैं सब्जेक्ट में, आपको क्या लैंग्वेज डिफिकल्ट लग रही है, आपको लिखने में प्रॉब्लम हो रही है। ऑडिटिंग तो ऐसा सब्जेक्ट है कि जिसमें लिखने में ही बहुत प्रॉब्लम है। मुझे आता तो सारा कुछ है, लेकिन मैं एक सेंटेंस भी नहीं एग्जाम में लिख पाता। तो ये एक बहुत कॉमन स्टूडेंट्स की दिक्कत होती है। सो फॉर एज ऑडिटिंग इज कंसर्न, हर एक सब्जेक्ट की अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं। तो स्टूडेंट्स, आप प्रॉब्लम्स पर फोकस करिए, क्या क्या हमें स्टडी करते हुए इश्यूज आ रहे हैं। आप लंबा नहीं बैठ सकते, स्टडी बहुत, मतलब आपके क्या इश्यूज हैं, आप उनको पेन डाउन करिए, और फिर सेशन के अंदर जो सेशन होंगे तो आप उनको पूछिए। तो स्टूडेंट्स, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट ये प्रोग्राम रहेगा। तो मैं सब स्टूडेंट्स को यही एडवाइस करूंगा कि आप प्रोग्राम अटेंड करें और अपने फ्रेंड्स को, जो भी आपके फ्रेंड्स हैं, उनको इन्फॉर्म करें। प्रोग्राम जो है 11 नवंबर फाइनल का स्टार्ट होगा और इंटरमीडिएट फॉर इंटरमीडिएट डेट इज 12 नवंबर, राइट? सो दिस इज, आई थिंक it is clear to all students. Akruti, you have some question about this program, or I think each and every student has understood what I wanted to convey.
I think it's very clear, sir. I think students basically for exam, how you want to study, everything you can ask it strategy. So it's basically to boost your confidence and to give you clarity. Yeah.
Perfect. So at the end of the session, you can remind the students about the program, right? Thank you,
So
Akruti.
will they receive that? You can also mention if they'll receive this QR code in email.
Yes. We have circulated in groups and everything we have done at our level. Thank you, Akruti. Thank you, students. You can
Thank you,
continue,
sir.
Akruti. Ankita, you want to say something? Ankita? See, Ankita,
So thank you.
you want to say something?
Yes, sir. I just want to say that students, when during the session, when you have to join the session, you have to scan the same QR code. You will receive the link, and from that link you have to join the session.
I have conveyed.
Yes. I was just repeating it.
Right.
So thank you, sir.
ये क्लैरिफाई किया है अंकिता मैडम ने कि आप क्यूआर कोड के थ्रू ही ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. दिस इज व्हाट यू वांटेड टू कन्वे ना अंकिता?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I can see one question that has come in the chat box that,
Yes.
sir, I want
Yes,
to
please.
attend. However, if I am a May 2026 student, would you recommend to attend?
Yes,
Should I
yes, you can attend. You can attend. There is no problem in this. आप attend करो और अपनी problems naturally अगर आपने study कर दिया है शुरू तो आपको problems आ रही हैं तो आप पूछिए. No problem. Thank you.
Students, am I visible, audible to everyone? Technical team, I can start with the lecture now. Yes, all right. Okay, welcome, good evening to all my dear students. Welcome back to our class. I hope you are all doing well. You are sitting upright in the position. You have book in front of you. You have pen and paper in front of you, ready to make notes and be alert. Don't lie down and study and take the lecture. Sit upright and so that you can absorb the lecture to the maximum capacity and you will remember it longer if you pay more attention. So good evening and welcome. All right, I'm seeing all the messages. Every one of you are giving attendance. Good evening, very good. We should maintain the same enthusiasm that we had in the first lecture. Continuous interaction will be there. And today, first lecture was more introduction to a lot of things because it was my first lecture with you. But today we'll be moving on with a lot of technical topics. But I promise they'll be very easy to grasp, easy to understand, and easy to learn. Now, all of you, did you study what I taught previously? Have you gone through the book? Have you revised? It is very important to keep revising. I'll tell you a little secret about audit, okay? So, all of you say, many people ask how many times to revise audit, what to do. I'll tell you one very small thing, okay, students? The first time you study audit, you will take this much time, but you might remember only this much. And next time you study, you might take little less time, but you'll remember much more. Next time, you'll take even lesser time to revise, and you'll start understanding and retaining and memorizing more. And soon, the time to revise will become very small, and the retaining will become big. And this is the process we have to go through to be able to learn and to be able to write audit properly. Can you see this small thing that I have shown you? So if you ask me, ma'am, how to learn audit, how many times to learn audit, each time you study, your revision time reduces and your retention increases. Is that clear? So the only good answer is to study and revise as often as possible, to not leave a lot of gap in revising. So if I've taught yesterday, you can revise it immediately, it will retain, and then revise again after 4 to 5 days. So everything new that you learn in 3 to 4 days, revise it on the 6th and 7th day. If you do that, you'll retain audit like anything very well and very nicely. Okay, so let's start with the lecture now. First, I was teaching you about SA 700 and I was showing you the contents of an audit report. Okay, so we discussed the title, we discussed the addressee. Audit opinion also we discussed. In audit opinion, what was the thing that I highlighted? That what is the content of an audit report? So in audit opinion section, what will be included? They will first, we have to identify the entity, which means we are auditor. We have audited their financial statements of Ringston Limited. So first we have to identify who we are auditing. Then we have to mention, we have to state that it has been audited. That is why we write the sentence, we have audited. Then we have to mention with what all you have audited. I have audited balance sheet, I have audited P&L, I have audited notes to accounts, write everything that is required by AFRF. Then you also have to refer to the notes, that I have even gone through the notes and all the accounting policies. And of course, the most important thing, you have to mention for which year you have audited. So when you write all this, this comprises your opinion paragraph. Now, if you'll come here, students, this is very important as concept. Write down with me, plus MCQ. Okay. This is important both as a concept and as an MCQ. Now, why it is important? Because it is giving us the language of opinion, which means it's telling you that there are only two ways. There are only two sentences through which you can write your opinion. The first important thing is, the first way you can write is the financial statements present fairly in all material respects as per AFRF. The one way to write is, but which is the most popular one, which is the one I have been using? It gives true and fair view as per AFRF. So there, as per the standards, there are two things available. There are two ways in which you can write this. You can use one of the following. The more popular in our country, that is used by all auditors, is it gives a true and fair view. So if it is an unmodified opinion, means everything is okay, there is no problem, it's a clean opinion, you can write true and fair view. Or second is present fairly in all material respects. So these are the two ways. How can it come in MCQ? They can ask you simply like, which of the following is not a sentence that is allowed is unmodified opinion. So they can give you multiple options and then you can select which one is not allowed. Okay. So in MCQ, it will be useful. Now, this also is this question can also be asked in MCQ. In fact, it has been asked once. What is not correct to use? Now, underline this. What we can write is there, but what we cannot write, what we should not write if we are giving an unmodified opinion. So if you are giving an unmodified opinion, you cannot use phrases like with the foregoing explanation or subject to. Why? Because it becomes conditional. And conditional allowed in unmodified opinion. Okay? Any conditions not allowed in unmodified opinion. So that is why when you are giving an unmodified opinion, you cannot use the phrases with the foregoing explanation or subject to. All that is not allowed. So this also you have to remember, very easy to remember, okay? Next. This we already did the other day, the Ringston example. So this is how you write true and fair view, all right? Now come to basis for opinion, okay? I'll show you this quickly. Basis for opinion means what? Suppose I have given true and fair view. But on what basis did I reach that opinion? Kis bunyad par? Okay, on what basis did I reach the opinion that okay, it is unmodified or it is modified? That basis can be 4 explanations that we give. What is it? First, audit was conducted as per essay. So we have to give basis that I have done all the work that I was required to do as per essay. Okay. So as per essay, I have done everything. Next, as I have covered all my responsibilities to give this opinion. I'm seeing some hands. I'll just cover this and I'll take your questions. Okay. You can also write your questions in chat box. I'm continuously seeing the chat box. So if you have any question, you can write in chat box, or if you have to ask it verbally, just wait for the topic to complete and then I'll come back to your questions. It might be possible that your questions might be answered by the time the topic is completed. Okay. So if you have to give basis for opinion, first you have to mention that I have done all the work that I was required to do as per essay. I have followed all my responsibilities. I have gotten all sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to provide basis for the opinion. And lastly, I am independent. I have complied with all the ethical requirements. So when you are giving basis for an opinion, it is very important that you mention 4 things. Now, do you know how this is asked in exam? Very interestingly, it is asked. It is asked like this, pay attention. Audit was conducted as per essay. In an audit report, under which head it is mentioned? Again, listen. Audit was conducted as per essay. Under which heading of audit report it is covered? Is it covered in opinion paragraph, basis for opinion paragraph, or a management responsibility paragraph, or auditor responsibility paragraph? So what will be the correct answer? Basis for opinion paragraph. So like that you can get questions. Do you get how the questions are created? So it's not just important that we see this, but we should also know how it can be asked. So you don't have to think that it will only be asked as a theory question, that the question will come write in brief about basis for opinion, 4 marks. No, you also need to understand the logic of it so that when it comes in MCQ, you can use your logic and write the answer. Okay. So basis for opinion paragraph covers 4 things. Audit was done as per essay. Auditor's responsibilities. We obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence to give this opinion. And we were independent and complied with all the ethical requirements to give this opinion. So these are the 4 points for basis of opinion. Essay was done. I followed all my responsibilities. After doing all this, I got evidence. And to get this evidence, I was perfectly independent. I was perfectly ethical. See the flow? How is the flow going? I did all the audit as per essay. I did follow all the responsibilities. On the basis of that, I found evidence. And when finding the evidence, I maintained my independence and ethical requirements. Is that clear? Ma'am, repeat question. I have kept that question in written for you to write at the end. Okay. Tanu, is that clear? I have written the question. At the end, I will be sharing that question with you. The question, I'll just say it right now. That was that it was conducted as per essay. Under which heading of audit report is it covered? So it is covered under basis for opinion paragraph. Is that clear, Tanu? So your opinion for paragraph clear. Now, Anything, any doubt till now? You can ask. Any doubt till now? If not, I'll move on to the next heading. Anyone's hand still raised? I don't see any hand raised. All right. Kuldeep. Yes, Kuldeep. What is the question you want to ask?
Madam, this follow in the given flow, correct? No, audit was conducted as per SA. This
Yeah.
flow cannot be changed, correct? No.
Yeah, so this is fixed unless and until you are giving an opinion like qualified or adverse, and then you have to give explanation for why you have given. But if it is an unmodified opinion, it will be same. It will be copy pasted by all auditors in the audit report.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll move on to the next topic. If you will see basis for opinion paragraph, again, in the book you can see, please mark it as important. I have already shown you. So basis for opinion paragraph, it is important, write down like this. It is important both for theory plus MCQ, okay? This topic is important as a theory answer also and as an MCQ answer also. And what are the keywords? That audit was conducted as per standards of auditing. Then it refers auditors' responsibilities under the standards of auditing. Then it includes a statement that auditor is independent and all ethical responsibilities are covered, and that auditor has found audit evidence that is sufficient and appropriate. So these are the main things that you need to remember. I hope everyone is clear now. We'll move on to the next question once. Measures Kite Wright and Associates are statutory auditors of Prime Deluxe Limited for the financial year 21-22. At the time of finalizing the audit report, one of the engagement team members, Mr. Robin, asked the engagement partner ICAI as to what all should be included in the basis of opinion paragraph. The engagement partner ICAI explained the team in detail and asked Mr. Robin to draft the auditor's report. Help Mr. Robin to draft the opinion paragraph. Now, drafting is just connecting all the 4 points to make a paragraph. Here we studied it separately as 4 points. Here you will add them together as just saying, I have done this or we have done this. That's it. So we have conducted the audit in accordance with standards of auditing specified under section 143 subsection 10. So in Companies Act, if you're auditing a company, 143 section 10 writes down specifically that auditor has to follow standards of auditing when auditing a company. We will study this also in next lecture. Section 143 we will study in detail. I'll do a little bit. This chapter has a little bit of Companies Act also. So that we'll do in the next lecture. Then our responsibilities under those standards are further described in auditor responsibility. We are independent in accordance with code of ethics issued by ICAI, together with all the ethical requirements that are relevant as per Companies Act and rules. We have fulfilled all other ethical responsibilities. We believe that audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate. So if you remember the first 4 lines, these are just the merger of it. Okay. Next, as an auditor, you have to comment whether going concern is still valid. Now, you tell me, whose primary responsibility it is to see that the going concern is valid? Is it management's responsibility or is it auditor's responsibility? Whose responsibility it is? Primarily to see that going concern is valid. Okay, all of you have given correct answer. So auditor just checks that management's evaluation is correct. I just have to see that whether management has correctly told that whether going concern and their evaluation is correct or not. So I am just checking. So you all have studied SA 570 already, right? SA 570 must be completed. So I don't have to go in that in detail. So this whole thing you don't have to memorize. Okay. This is just explaining what you studied in SA 570 you have to see. Here it is just saying that as an auditor, I have to mention in report, in writing. I just have to write it down that going concern, the accounts have been prepared under the assumption of going concern and will continue its operations for the foreseeable future. What does foreseeable future mean? Can anyone explain to me? How much does foreseeable future means? So if I am management and I am telling that going concern for my company is valid and I'm making accounts as per going concern, it means my company will continue its operations for foreseeable future. Foreseeable future means how much time? Foreseeable future means how much time? Next 5 years, next 10 years, infinitely? How much does it time mean? Kuldeep and Tannu have given correct answer. At least 12 months. It means when I say that company will continue for a foreseeable future, it means that at least for next 12 months. Okay, which means next year again audit report will be prepared, again financial statements will be available. Okay, so foreseeable future does not mean infinity. It means it will continue for at least next 12 months. Please remember this conceptually. So as an auditor, when we are making an audit report, we mention this is again a fixed paragraph that is copy pasted in all audit reports, but it is very important because you are taking responsibility and you are mentioning that the accounts have been prepared as per going concern assumption, and I think going concern assumption is valid. Okay. Now, when the use of concern is appropriate, when it is appropriate, what does happen? Assets and liabilities are recorded on the basis that entity will be able to realize its assets and discharge its liabilities in normal course of business. So whatever you are continuing, you'll record it that way. What happens when going concern is not appropriate? What happens when it is not appropriate? How are assets and liabilities recorded when going concern is not appropriate? Quickly tell me. What happens when going concern assumption is not appropriate? How should asset and liability be recorded? Waiting for all your answers. Okay, one answer has come. If it is not very good, Ashlesha has given the perfect answer, net realizable value. Okay. Yes. So at realizable value as on current date, it will be like that. And then you have to record all the assets as per those values. So it will not continue on the fair value that it was continuing early. Now, based on audit evidence, auditor can conclude on the basis of auditor judgment whether a material uncertainty exists that may cast a significant doubt on entity's ability to continue as going concern. And if a material uncertainty exists, when the magnitude of its potential impact and likelihood of occurrence is such that there should be a disclosure, then it will affect the fair presentation, and in compliance, the financial statements should not be misleading. So in this, I'm not making you mark anything very important. It is just a general guideline, general understanding about SA 570 and nothing special. Just remember that if you think material uncertainty exists and you think that appropriate disclosure and implications is necessary, because that will give a better presentation and that will not make financial statements misleading. So you just have to give your opinion here that whether you think going concern was valid. That's it. Nothing more, nothing. You don't have to revise it again and again much. There's nothing specific to memorize. You just need to know the concept. Now come to key audit matters. This we will study fully SA 701 that I'm going to make you study now. Okay, so what we'll be doing right now is essay number 701. Pay attention here, everyone. Very, very important essay. Pay attention. Let's imagine that you are an auditor. Okay. There are many people who are TCWG. Okay. Now you are doing audit. During audit, you went and talked to them about a lot of things. During audit, you are informing them about this happened, that happened, this is the scope of work, everything you are discussing with them. Okay. Now, amongst whatever you discuss with them, some things are very, very, very important. Not everything was important, but some things were very important. Some things were of most significance during audit. It means, let's imagine that the company has purchased another company. And for purchasing, it has paid goodwill. Okay. Now tell me, is this a little bit complicated transaction? Imagine the company is like 2000 crore company, 2000 crore of revenue company. Do you think goodwill calculation will be a little complicated? And do you think the valuation, doing the valuation of the other company for which we'll purchase that company, do you think these areas will be a little complicated? Do you think these areas will be a little complicated? Yes. Yes, ma'am, it will be complicated. Now, as for me as an auditor, will I consider it as a significant area of audit? Will I pay a lot of attention to this area? Will I put my best people, best resources so that they can calculate it properly? Yes. Obviously, ma'am. Okay. Many of you have given correct answer. Now, these things that auditor considered of most significance during audit that he communicated to TCWG, these are called as key audit matters. First, this much is clear. This much is clear to everyone. What is a key audit matter? Something that was of very significant importance to me as an auditor while I was doing audit. Okay. Now, I am saying, why should only TCWG know that what was the key audit area? I want everyone to know. I want all the users to also know that what did I consider to be the most important audit areas of significance in the audit. I want to tell it to everyone. I don't want to keep it. I want everyone to know that, see, company did this goodwill work. I put so much energy in. These are the procedures I used. This is how I found evidence. I want to tell everything to everyone. And that is where comes SA 701. Easy. Okay. Now, auditor has to tell all this, but what structure to follow, when to use it, who will give that guidance to us? It will be given by SA 701. SA 701 will tell us which audit matters you can tell, how do you choose them. So what will be a key matter? For just ease of teaching, I'm just writing KAM. Whenever I write KAM, it means key audit matter. Who will choose this KAM? Management will choose it, government will choose it, or auditor will choose it? You decide. Tell me. Who, by logic, by common sense, who do you think will choose key audit matters? Auditor. Obviously, ma'am. Very good. Everyone is replying correctly. Everyone is paying attention. Very good. So who chooses it? It depends on auditor's judgment. It depends on auditor's judgment. But why do you think auditor wants to tell everyone? Why do you think auditor wants to write about key audit matters in his report? क्या भला होगा उससे? What benefit will it give? Think of yourself as third party investor. What do you think it will give you? What will be the value addition by this? If you see a report in which KAM is there, how does it affect you? User, it affects the user. Yes, the users can have better commentary. The user can have more transparency. It's called as increasing communicative value. It's called as increasing communicative value. It will also give you an idea about what audit procedures auditor performed. It also tells you which were the management's judgment areas. Many things it will tell you. I'm not giving you any answer right now. I'm explaining you an essay. Don't think, ma'am, what to learn and all. That I'll tell you later. As of now, focused on learning and understanding the essay, why it exists. Okay. So, essay 701 is saying that this essay should exist because the value of the report, the communication that report can do, the transparency of the report will be so much better. The investors will know better. They will know more information. They will know what auditors have done. They will benefit from these disclosures. And they will be able to take better decisions. They will also be able to trust auditor more. It will increase our transparency and our goodwill because we will share with them that these are the important things during audit and this is how I dealt with it. I found that the company had paid goodwill, and to verify the goodwill, these are the audit procedures I performed. This is inspection I inspected. This is the thing I calculated. I use these many experts to do this. So it increases that transparency and trust that users can have on the auditor. Okay. Now, but who does it apply to? Who does it apply to? This standard is primarily for listed entities. This standard is primarily for listed entities. Okay, primarily. But auditor can decide if necessary in public interest entities. So if auditor, even if it's not a listed company, even if it is not compulsory to give a key audit matter paragraph, if I think personally that I should tell something to the users and I should create a KAM paragraph, if I think it will be in public interest, especially if you are auditing an insurance company or any kind of NBFCs. So even if they are not listed, auditor can decide that if it is necessary for the public interest, I should do it. And if any law and regulation tells you that you should, if specifically any law tells that even if it's not listed entity, but that law tells that for this kind of business, you need to give a key audit matter paragraph, then you have to do. But by default, the base is that KAM is applicable to listed entities. All right, done. Now tell me this. If I have given KAM paragraph, does it mean that it is a modified report? If I have given a key audit matter paragraph, does it mean there is some problem in that area? if I am writing something, calculation of goodwill as KAM, does it mean that company has done some problem in it? They have not calculated it properly. Does it mean like that? No. KAM is not a substitute. It is not a substitute for modified opinion that you have to give as per SA 705. So, if you will recall the structure, what is the structure? Title is there, addressee is there, opinion paragraph is there, basis for opinion paragraph is there, going concern is there, and then KAM is there. Which means opinion is already done. And why we have given an opinion, that is also already done. So even if our opinion is true and fair view, can there still be a KAM paragraph? Even if my opinion is unmodified, can there still be a key audit matter paragraph? Yes. Good. Very good. Everyone is correct. Perfect. Good. So, yeah. So, it is not a substitute for SA 705. Whichever opinion you need to give, you need to give it. It is not a substitute for any of these things. I'm just giving a general brief. We'll see the exact theory and exact portion just in brief. Do you now, if someone asks you to tell what is SA 701, a brief about it, do you understand it that you can tell what is KAM about? That much is clear? Have you understood the essay? Forget learning. Have you understood it? You can explain what is a KAM, right? Very good. How does an auditor, do you think, selects KAM? How do you think is KAM selected? Usually, as an auditor, whichever I find as very high risk of material misstatement area, which I checked in detail, which I properly did the procedures for, those things I consider as KAM. Okay? Or I can select from areas which were of high management judgment, where management made a lot of estimates and assumptions. Those areas I can select as KAM. Or anything that was a significant event or transaction. That can also be a KAM. So there is no hard and fast rule that exactly from where you will select. But if you have communicated with it with TCWG, those significant areas you can select. But what kind of things you usually communicate? High risk of material misstatement areas, high management judgment areas where a lot of estimates and assumptions and calculations were there. Or if there was any significant event or transaction in the company and how you checked it, what procedures you performed, all these things you can use as a base to select KAM. Everyone clear? Basic is clear. Can I go on the theory now? Perfect. Good. Which essay number are we studying? Repeat. Tell me quickly which essay number we are studying. Which essay number are we studying? Okay. 701. Which KM is which essay number? Essay 701. And which essay has audit report? Which essay has report? Audit report. Format of audit report, forming an opinion and reporting. Okay, 700. Correct. Correct. Okay, so now let's see the theory of SA 701. All right. So for your comfort, I've created something. I have summarized the whole standard in a single flowchart. Okay. The whole standard is in a single flowchart. Let's start. Communicating key audit matter in IAR means Independent Auditor's Report. Okay, in Independent Auditor's Report. IAR means Independent Auditor's Report. So what is the name of SA 701? Communicating key audit matter in Independent Auditor's Report. Now let's come to what does it mean? What does it mean? It means whatever I have written here, these are the keywords of the whole essay. Okay. What does it mean? It means matters that were of most significance. Matters that were of most significance during the audit. During the audit, they were of most significance. Who decides what is significant? Auditor's judgment. And from where is it selected? Selected from matters communicated to TCWG. Everything we have studied. If we understand the essay before seeing the whole theory, you will, when you study theory, you will know, oh, this I know, this I understand. Okay. So what does it mean? KM simply means matters that were of most significance during the audit in auditor's judgment, selected from the matters communicated to TCWG. Now applicable to whom? Who is it applicable to? All the listed entities, decision of auditors, or if it is required by L&R. L&R means laws and regulations. Next. What is the purpose? Why someone created SA 701? How does it help? What is the purpose of it? Each essay should have a purpose. Okay. So what does it do? The purpose is it increases the communicative value. The value that shareholders can get from the audit report, the value is very, very increased. It provides additional information. Why is value increased? See, connect it. Why is value increased by KM? Because I'm giving them extra information. I'm telling them that to check the goodwill, this is the calculation I did. I performed these audit procedures. I did these many things. I checked for these many days. So we are giving them additional information. With this additional information, what will user benefit? They will understand the entity more. And they will also understand that area in which management has taken significant judgment. Simply see, what is the purpose of KM? To increase communicate value. How to increase communicate value? By giving more information. What happens when you give more information? People are able to understand better. Do you understand better when I give you more information or less information? You tell me. You are also right now understanding the lecture, right? Do you understand my lecture more when I give more information, or do you understand it less when I give more information is better, more example is better, right? So think of the same way for users, that when they get more information, they understand the entity better and they also understand the area better. And then when you understand it better, you can ask proper questions and you can further engage with management and TCWG. So if you understand things better, then you can ask better questions. You can talk properly to someone. If you don't understand, can we talk to someone about it? Now you understand SA 701. You can talk about SA 701 with some other student, with a CA final student also, because unless you understand and have more information, we cannot engage and deal with someone. So what is the purpose? Quickly, what is the purpose? Increasing the communicative value, providing additional information. Communicative value is increased. How it is increased? Because we got additional information. What happened when we got additional information? We understood the entity better and areas better. And if we understand it better, we can talk better. So we can further engage with management and TCWG. Can you remember this answer? You can get this as a direct question in exam, that what is the purpose or what are the objectives of SA 701. Okay, good. How do you select a KAM? This is also a direct question, students. This is also a direct theory question. How do you determine a KAM? How does an auditor, what factors affect the selection of a KAM? Okay. What factors affect it? If it is a significant event or transaction. I taught you this already, right? Have you not studied this already? What factors affect? Significant events or transaction. Next, significant auditor's judgment on management's judgment, like accounting estimates, because they have high uncertainty. So which areas, what factors affect my selection of KAM? That if they are significant, they involve significant judgment on management judgment and areas of higher risk of material misstatement or higher significant risk as per SA 705. Can anyone quickly write the full name of SA 315? Can anyone quickly write full name of SA 315? Don't see anywhere. See if you remember. Put a little effort. Anyone? Okay, I've gotten 2 answers. Materiality, no. Kuldeep is half right. Archana is writing half of what Kuldeep has said. So Kuldeep has written identifying and assessing the risk. Archana has written understanding the entity and its environment. You combine it, you get the essay. So identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment. Okay. Essay numbers we have to remember. It is very important in every part of the paper, whether it is MCQ, whether it is case studies, whether it is theory answers, you should know your standards. I'll tell you one simple trick to do, okay? Wherever you study at your home, okay? If you are in a PG, you are in a home, anywhere you are, in a hostel, wherever you are, write down all essays in a sheet of paper. Like essay 200 is overall objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit in accordance with standards of auditing. Essay 210, agreeing to the terms of audit engagement, right? Like make a list of it and keep it stick. And whenever you wake up in the morning or whenever you go to sleep at night, that in 1 page, 1 or 2 page maximum, you will complete all the name and number. You should see it every day. When you wake up in the morning, when you sleep at the night, that sheet you just write and paste in your desk or a wall. If you see it every day, it will start registering in your head. Is that clear? Everyone will do this? Everyone will do what I have told them to do? There is only one way to remember essays is seeing it every day. Seeing it so many times that subconsciously it will register in your brain. You don't even have to do anything. It will automatically register because you're seeing it every day. Maximum you have to spend 2 to 3 minutes, maximum 5 minutes. In starting, you might spend 5 minutes. As time goes by, even in 10 seconds, you'll be able to go through it. I have pasted a list on my study table of SA and AS. Very good, Kuldeep. Very good. This is what I'm saying, that do this. It's a very, very standard technique used by many CA students. So please do this. So this answer is clear. Factors to consider in determining key audit matters. Effect on audit of significant events and transactions. Significant auditor's judgment, management judgment matters like accounting estimates, and areas of higher assessed of risk of material misstatement or significant risk as per 315. These kind of things you can select as your KAM. So this part is done. Now, this. It is not a substitute. This answer, this whole essay is important. Each thing I'm telling you, mark it is important. Only applicability is important, not a substitute is important. Everything can be asked in case study also, theory also. Case study also, theory also, MCQ So not a substitute of disclosures. Financial statement should anyway have everything. This is additional. This is not substituting what should already exist. So if the company needs to give a disclosure that they have had a significant fire in their company or most of their stock was lost, so that disclosure should anyway be there. You don't have to wait for me to give an additional communication to write it. Okay. It is not a substitute for modified opinion as per SA 705. You cannot use this as a base to give a modified opinion. It is not a substitute for going concern paragraph. Going concern paragraph has its own place and position in the format of audit report. You cannot use it as a substitute. And it is not an opinion on individual matter. So if I'm making a KAM on goodwill payment for the purchase of the company, am I giving an opinion on it or am I just telling you how I verified it? If I'm giving a KAM on the goodwill calculation for the purchase of a company, am I giving an opinion on that goodwill or am I just telling you how I checked the goodwill, how I verified the goodwill? Yes, it is just giving how I checked it. Okay. It is not giving an opinion. Very good. Yes, all answers. Yes, it is just how I verified the goodwill. I'm not giving an opinion on goodwill. I'm not telling you goodwill is bad, goodwill is good. I'm just telling you how I checked it. How I checked it, where I checked it, what procedures I used, how many evidences I obtained, all that. And last part of this essay, when to not use. When you cannot use KAM. So, do you remember I taught you disclaimer of opinion paragraph? Disclaimer of opinion. Do you remember from last lecture? Yes. So, in disclaimer of opinion, do we give any opinion? In disclaimer of opinion, do we give any opinion? In disclaimer of opinion, do we give any opinion? I'm asking you that. No, ma'am. Give, ma'am. More answers I want. One more answer. Do we give an opinion when I give? What does disclaimer of opinion means? What does disclaimer mean? Have you seen movies? You go to theater, right? At the start of a movie, what is there? A disclaimer. A disclaimer is there. It means whatever is happening in the movie, I'm not personally giving any opinion on those events. It is not related to any reality. So I am staying back from taking responsibility. And what does auditor's job is? We have to take the responsibility of giving an opinion. So when we give disclaimer of opinion, are we really giving any opinion or are we saying that I am not able to give any opinion? When we write disclaimer of opinion, am I saying that I am not able to give opinion or am I saying that I am giving some opinion? I'm saying I'm not able to give opinion. Yes? Some Ashlesha, I'm not able to give opinion. Correct. When we are not able to give opinion, it means we didn't audit. Very important thing I'm telling you. When we say that I am unable to give opinion, I'll show you something very interesting. Here we studied one sentence. Do you remember? We have audited. Do you remember I told you that opinion paragraphs always start with we have audited? But do you know that when we give disclaimer of opinion, it becomes we were engaged in audit. Can anyone tell me why? Why can't we write we have audited? When we are giving disclaimer of opinion, why can't we write we have audited? Why do we have to write we were engaged in audit? What is the logic? What is the common sense behind it? What is the logic behind it? Because audit evidence is not available. And when you don't have audit evidence, you cannot give opinion. And if you can't give opinion, you cannot say I have audited. If you say I have audited, then you have to give opinion. If you are saying I am unable to give opinion, then can you say I have audited? Then I can't say I have audited. So in disclaimer of opinion, an auditor will only write we were engaged in audit. So जब audit ही नहीं हुआ, when audit only didn't happen, will there be KAM? If audit only has not happened, will there be KAM? Will there be key audit matters? So if in disclaimer of opinion, when opinion is only not given, when audit has only not happened, will there be KAM? Do you need to memorize this or is this logical? You have to memorize it. Oh, when disclaimer of opinion, no KM. When disclaimer of opinion, no KM. Essay, you have to memorize or is this very logical? Can there be key audit matters when no audit has happened? It is very logical. Of course, you'll remember it because you have understood it conceptually. Okay. So when to not use, now come to this answer. When to not use KAM? When you are giving disclaimer of opinion. Whenever we are giving disclaimer of opinion, we can't use KAM. When L&R restricts, which means when law and regulation is saying that you can't comment on these matters or when you can't do KAM. So if any specific law restricts, then you can't do it. When you feel there will be a lot of adverse consequences, which means you feel that if this information goes public, the benefit will be lesser than the problems. So if you feel that the benefit will be very less, but the problems will be very high, in that situation, you can take the decision, okay, I don't want to say this in the report. Or if the matters give rise to 705 and 570, that time 570 means going concern, then you cannot use KAM. Is that clear? Done. So when not to use? Here is your whole standard of SA 701. Is that clear? Everyone is clear? This is your whole standards SA 701. Communicating key audit matter in IAR. Everyone clear? Any doubts? Because I'm now going to go to the next essay. Next point. Clear? Okay, so there are no doubts. I'm moving on to the next topic. So here I have explained you what is key audit matter. So as an auditor in our audit report, what will be there after going concern? Auditor has to mention key audit matters. Okay. Everything I have told you already. Now, next topic is auditor needs to have mention other information. Other information is not covered at intermediate level, SA 720. So we will not go in detail, but just to give you a little bit of information, just for logically, so that you are not confused that why is this there in our book? What does it mean? Other information, one small example. So if you will see the whole annual return of financial statements and everything that is given by a company, it does not just have audit report. It does not just have financial statements. It has board's report. It has management's discussion and analysis, the future plan for the company, the vision for the company. Like that, many things are there in that bundle, in which audit report is also a part and financial statement is also a part. So when you'll go to final, you'll study SA 720, which will talk about that what does auditor have responsibility regarding this other information, other than financial information that is there in the whole report. what responsibility I have. So nothing much in here. You don't have to go through any detail. I just told you for the sake of it, but nothing you have to do in this. Come to next, responsibilities for financial statements. The next, without telling me first, tell me, what is the content of audit report? Tell me first. It is title. After title, addressee. After that, opinion paragraph. After that, basis of opinion paragraph. After that, it will be going concern paragraph. Okay. After that, there will be KAM paragraph. After that, other information paragraph. And then finally, we have responsibilities. Okay. So what do you have to do in this? It looks like a lot of theory, right? This much theory is there. But what do we have to do in this? So responsibilities, we have to study for case study, concept, plus MCQ. Okay. These are the areas in which we will focus. Not to memorize everything, but to know what is included. So responsibilities of financial statements is also called as responsibilities of management. Responsibilities of for the financial statements is also responsibilities of management for financial statement. Both are same thing. So what is included? Come to this. Very simple. You can also draw this in your book. I will suggest you keep some sticky notes with you, the big sticky notes. And whenever I'm telling you anything that does not fit in the margins of your book, you can just write it on the sticky note and put it on the book. Okay. It's very important for you to go through your book, because otherwise, if you read only short form, you will not learn how to write. That is why I am a complete believer that you should study your study material. Okay. But you should keep this for revision. This notes, that style that I'm giving, it is important for revision and for understanding. But we also have to study the book. Okay. So responsibilities of management for financial statements. What are the responsibilities? Main two things are the responsibilities. What is the first major responsibility? So who is making this report? Auditor is making the report. Okay. Auditor is making this audit report. In that, I am putting a section, responsibilities of management. Why am I putting the section? So that you, who are the users, you are clear that these two things are management's responsibility, not my responsibility. Okay. So you are making a paragraph that it is the responsibility of management to prepare financial statement as per applicable financial reporting framework and to have necessary internal control to prevent and detect fraud and error. So this format and this essay makes it clear. Whose responsibility it is to prepare financial statements? Management. Whose responsibility it is to have necessary internal control system? Management. Whose responsibility it is to see whether going concern is appropriate or not? Management. That's it. So this is also a standard paragraph that is copy pasted in all audit reports, but it is very important paragraph that I am declaring in my audit report that these three things, management has the responsibility to prepare the financial statements as per AFRF, to do the necessary internal control to prevent and detect fraud and error, and assessing the ability of going concern is appropriate or not. Everyone clear? Any doubt in this topic? This also is done. Responsibilities of management. Very simple. Very, very simple. What are the three things management is responsible for? Preparing financial statements as per AFRF, putting necessary internal controls to prevent and detect fraud and error, and assessing the ability of going concern of the entity, whether it is appropriate or not. Done. Finished. Let's come back to the book. So, see, what I told you is just here. Auditor report shall describe management responsibility. What are the management responsibility? To prepare financial statement as per AFRF, to see that internal control that management determine is necessary for preparation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement due to fraud and error, and assessing entity's ability to continue as going concern, whether going concern is appropriate, and to disclose any matters regarding going concern. Any doubt? Done. So this part is also done. This is again the same thing is repeated. I have mentioned you all the important points. Come to this illustration. Everyone. Diamond Shine Limited is a company engaged in manufacture of detergent. Messrs. Bright and Associates are the statutory auditors of the company. Explain how the paragraph regarding management responsibility will come. So this I told you is standard. It's standard. It's not changed much. Okay. So if you will see the whole thing, I will show you in any report. It will be the same. Okay. So suppose this is a publicly available report. Okay. This is a publicly available report. Any of you can go and see this. I've just taken this company just like that. It is a very standard, normal, true and fair view report to just show you how it looks like. So if you go here in responsibilities of management, can you see the sentence? The company's board of directors is responsible for 134.35 for preparation, and they are preparing. It includes financial position, financial performance, income, changes in equity, cash flow. Index is also followed. They are also maintaining adequate accounting records. Can you see everything? And if I go up, can you see it's the same thing? Companies making records as per 134.5, giving a true and fair view of financial performance, financial position, changes in equity. They are preparing adequate records. Can you see? Same that we saw in an actual real life report and this example. You don't have to memorize this. No. But you should know what is included in it. Sometimes in question, they can give you a sample and they can ask you what is wrong with it or what is not included in it. Then you have to mention that this was not included. As per our responsibility, all this should be included, but this was not included. But you don't have to memorize this whole 20-25 lines as it is. No. Ashlesha, doubt is clear? Yes, Kuldeep. So usually I have studied all the patterns. You will not, this is not the expectation that you write and this as it is. The expectation is that you know what the responsibilities are, which I'm telling you to learn. The expectation is to know the responsibilities. Is that clear? This you should be able to write. Responsibilities of management. Okay. Okay. So this paragraph is a standard paragraph. You can go and download as many reports as possible that is publicly available on Google or anything. This is a standard paragraph that is used. Is that clear? So management will do its job. They will ensure financial performance. They'll maintain all the books and records, proper accounting records. They will safeguard their assets. They will put proper policies in place for detection of fraud and error. They will make proper judgment estimates. You don't have to learn this. Is that clear? Done. Now let's come to auditor's responsibility paragraph. Everyone is here? No, you don't even have to. Every time you study from the book, you can just go through the paragraph, but you don't have to sit and memorize this. Is that clear? What you have to focus on is this part, the top part. This part. Is that clear? This you have to memorize. Okay. Because now if I'll show you audit responsibility paragraph in real life, can you see how long it is? It's almost 1 page. Can you see it? It's almost one full page. It starts here, it ends here. Till here it is. And it starts here. So the point is not that you have to memorize this as a sentence. The point is that you should know what is included in the audit responsibility paragraph, so that when a question comes that which of the following is not covered in the auditor's responsibility, and there is 4 options given, you should know which is not covered in the audit responsibility paragraph. Is that clear? That is how you have to think of the question. Not as a theory answer that you have to write it copy paste. You have to know that what is included. Okay. Now, can we do auditor's responsibility paragraph? That also I have done quite simplification for you. Come here. Auditor's responsibility. What all is covered in an auditor's responsibility paragraph? This paragraph, I'm taking all the responsibility for some things. Anil, yes, you have raised your hand. You can ask your question. Anil, you want to ask some question?
Ma'am, in case of key audit matters, like auditor might not be able to identify certain matters, like in case management is planning to keep some focus on some new markets, like new technology markets and all, like in case it is
So
very
think of this
good
like
thing,
this,
but
Anil. Think of it like this. The future plans of a company that they want to get into a new market, is it a part of financial statement? Can that be
no
put
ma'am,
in a
but
balance sheet?
no ma'am, but it will really impact the growth of a company, right?
That's okay.
It
But
is considered as a significant
we are
matter, right?
auditor of historical information, which means something that has happened. Can you understand?
Yeah ma'am.
So if you are
Yeah
an
ma'am.
investor and the company has a future plan, that will be covered in other parts of the full report that the company gives, but it will not be a part of audit report. It will be part of vision of the company, management discussion and analysis. That is called as other information. Do you understand?
Then can you please define significant matters?
Events, significant matters and significant events, right? It is something that has
Yeah
already
ma'am.
happened. So for example, if the company has sold majority of its machinery that manufactures biscuit. So suppose company was an FMCG company and it used to manufacture detergent, soap, shampoo, biscuits, noodles, everything. And you see during the year that the company has sold off all its biscuits and let's say noodles manufacturing machines. Is that a significant event?
Okay.
Yes. Is that
No
a
ma'am.
significant event? It can be depending on how much percentage it was for the sales. So if biscuit and
Yeah.
noodles were 50% of your sales, and if the machines have been sold, will it affect the financial statements?
Yes ma'am.
Yeah. Will the sales be part of the P&L?
Yes
Yes.
ma'am.
Will it affect the closing stock?
Yes ma'am,
That
of
is
course.
called a significant event. So event, even if it's an event, we are talking about historical events, which means events that have already happened, not future events. Because as an auditor, we only focus on historical financial statements, means things that have already happened. Is that clear?
So strategies and all which have taken earlier pastly, we need not report those kind of things, right ma'am?
Yeah. We don't have to report on the goals of the company, the vision of the company, the ambition of the company. All that is not part of audit report.
Okay ma'am, thank you. But you have mentioned the benefits, like purpose and all. In that you have mentioned it will really help
It will help. So
it
suppose
will
if
really
I give you all this
futuristic
information.
and all.
Yeah, so I'll show you with an example, okay? Look here. Look at this Infosys audit report. There's a KM they have put on revenue recognition, okay? Can you see?
Yes ma'am.
Yeah. So here they are telling that company has lot of different contracts with for different kind of products and services. Will this or would this have come to your attention if you would have read a 100-page audit report and financial statements? Would this have
No,
come to your
ma'am.
attention? So did it
No, ma'am,
increase the
not at all.
value of this report if you have this in detail, that audit perform these procedures, auditor check the different IT services company gives, the company has different kind of contracts, company has different kind of obligations, there are many integrated services given by the company. Do you feel that your audit report experience, your experience of reading an audit report is becoming better because of this information?
Yes, ma'am.
That is it.
Yes, of course.
Your audit matter.
Okay, ma'am.
Understood?
Thank you, ma'am.
Hmm.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, all right. Anyone else? Okay. Let's, can I go back to auditor's responsibility? Okay. Now, how do we study this? It's basically that what is included in audit responsibility, which means when I make an audit report, what things I am taking responsibility for, which means whatever is not there, I am not taking responsibility for that. I'm only taking responsibility for these things for doing the audit. Let's start with the most basic point. I am taking responsibility by stating my objectives as an auditor. Who can tell me objectives of an auditor? Where have you studied Acha, forget. Where have you studied objectives of the auditor? Give me essay number. Where have you studied objectives of auditor? Give me essay number. Essay 200. Perfect. Essay 200. What is the full name of essay 200? What is the full name of essay 200? Overall objectives of independent auditor and conduct of audit in accordance with standards of auditing, which means it tells us why we do audit. Why we do audit? Because we want to obtain reasonable assurance, okay? And we have to form and report and give an opinion. So objective of audit, and second point is that we are only giving reasonable assurance. And second responsibility, you have to clarify to your readers that I'm only giving reasonable assurance, which is not equal to a guarantee. Is auditor giving a guarantee in the report? No. Okay, I cannot give guarantee in a report. So this you have to clearly mention in your responsibility paragraph that I am only giving reasonable assurance. I am taking responsibility of reasonable assurance. I am not taking responsibility of giving you a guarantee. Okay. How can I give this reasonable assurance? Why am I not able to give guarantee? Because misstatements can still arise due to fraud and error. Can I find all the misstatements during the audit? There are inherent limitations of audit, right? Which means I am telling you that I'm taking responsibility of reasonable assurance, but misstatement can still arise due to fraud and error. Even if after I have completed the audit, even if after I have given reasonable assurance, the misstatements can still arise due to fraud and error. Then what responsibility you have to take? You have to describe audit by stating these things. That I have identified all the risk of material misstatement. I have obtained understanding of internal control. I have evaluated all the accounting policies. I have checked whether management is correctly using going concern. And I have evaluated presentation structure and content of financial statements. So what all I am taking responsibility for? I am saying that I have identified all risk of material misstatements. Okay, I am taking responsibility for that. Then I am doing all test of control. Okay, I am understanding the control. I am taking understanding the whole internal control system. Then I am understanding all the accounting policies. It's my responsibility. I have evaluated the accounting policies. Then I have evaluated whether going concern is valid or not as per essay number 570. And last, I am also ensuring that financial statement, I'm taking responsibility that I'm evaluating that financial statements presentation, structure, and content is appropriate. So till now, what all responsibilities we have taken? Tell me. What all responsibilities we have taken? We have taken responsibility for essay 200, overall objectives. Then I'm saying that reasonable assurance is not equal to guarantee. Okay, I'm saying reasonable assurance. It means that misstatements can still exist and there can still be fraud and error. Which means if I'm not taking all this, what am I taking responsibility? I'm taking responsibility that I have assessed risk of material misstatement. I have assessed internal control system. I have assessed accounting policies. I have assessed going concern, and I have assessed presentation of financial statements. So these things I am taking responsibility. This till now everyone is with me? Everyone is clear? Then what am I taking? This is with respect to the work. Then personally also I am taking some responsibility. That I am taking responsibility that I have exercised proper judgment and I have maintained skepticism. Everyone knows what is skepticism? You have already studied it. I have to maintain skepticism. Okay. So auditor should exercise professional judgment and maintain. So I'm taking responsibility. Yes, I will use my judgment correctly. I have maintained skepticism throughout the audit. Next, you have to take responsibility in case of group audit. Group audit I'll cover in essay 600. Okay. When I cover that part, I'll show you. The auditor takes responsibility when there are multiple branches and subsidiaries and all that. Okay. So there also you have to give proper responsibility. I responsible, how much is the branch auditor responsible? Is that clear? Then you also have to give the responsibility that I have done communication with TCWG of all important things. Okay. Essay 260 plus 265. So I'm taking responsibility that I have communicated whenever it was important. I've communicated everything important to TCWG. Then I'm taking responsibility that if it was a listed company, I have given a statement to TCWG that I am independent and ethical. I'm taking responsibility that if this is a listed company, I have given a statement to TCWG that I am independent and I am ethical. And lastly, I'm taking responsibility that I have given key audit matters wherever it was important and significant. So I'm taking responsibility that wherever it was most important and most significant, I have mentioned them as key audit matters. So what all are we taking responsibility of? We are taking responsibilities that I'm giving reasonable assurance only. I'm not giving a guarantee. Misstatements can still happen. I have properly assessed risk of material misstatement. I have understood internal control system. I have properly evaluated accounting policies. I have properly checked going concern assumption. I have properly evaluated the presentation and structure of financial statements. After doing all this, I'm confirming that while to do all this, I have applied my judgment and I have maintained skepticism. That in case of group audit, I have properly differentiated that this much is my responsibility, this is not my responsibility. Whatever was important, I have communicated to TCWG. I've also communicated to TCWG in writing that I am independent and ethical in case of a listed company. And after doing the whole audit, I am taking responsibility that whatever was important, I have shown it as key audit matter. What do you think? Usually, many students leave this answer. Do you think you should leave this? Or do you think you can remember at least 75-80%? Do you think you should leave this? Of course not. Nothing should be left. You have this much book. in two parts. Everything has to be studied. Whenever it's not studied, it's very obvious that it is for just understanding. So auditor's responsibility, this is the whole point. Now, how it is usually asked, what did I tell you? They will put a case study or MCQ like this, that which of the following is not a responsibility of the auditor, or which of the following is the responsibility of auditor as per SA 700. Usually, why Kuldeep is asking, why do students usually leave this? So like this, when I showed you, it looks nice, but I'll show you how it looks like in theory. So can you see it starts here? Then here it goes on, then it goes on, then it goes on, then it's still here. Can you see 2.5 pages? So all of you, please note down the flow chart. Exactly, Archana. I'm very, very proud of you that you found this. It is just a summary of all chapters of audit. What is auditor responsibility? All the chapters you have studied. Objective of the auditor, reasonable assurance, misstatements, risk of material misstatements, SA 260, 265, 570, 315. It's a mixture of all. So what is an auditor's responsibility? Everything that we studied. Very good, Archana. This is what I want to develop, that you should all be able to not just memorize things, but to be able to summarize things. So when you're able to do that, which means you're understanding it rightly. Very good, Archana. Everyone is clear? All right. Okay. So this part is fully covered through the notes. You can do this notes part. You can just read the book once, but this is the main thing you have to study. All right. Have you noted this flow chart? Have you noted down the flow charts I'm showing on screen? Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right. So these are the auditor's responsibility. Okay. So this we covered. So auditor's responsibility is covered. Everything that I've told you is already done. Objectives of the auditor. Reasonable assurance is high, but it is not a guarantee. Misstatement can happen due to fraud and error. Then auditor exercisement and skepticism, risk of material misstatement, everything. I have not missed anything. Okay. This whole 2.5 pages is there. Took screenshot, ma'am. Okay. Even if you're taking screenshot after the lecture with your own hand and with your own handwriting, you have to write it. Do you know what I do whenever there is a new amendment in audit or anything that I have to study new? I always keep in front of me and make my handwritten notes. So when we write down with our own hands, we remember for a much longer time. So even if you have taken a screenshot, even if you're taking a screenshot, make sure that after the lecture, you will write down with your own hand and handwriting on a notebook. Okay. Then you will remember for much longer period of time. All right. So this is done. Auditor's responsibility. Now come to this part. Location of the description of auditor's responsibility. Location of the description of auditor's responsibility. What does it mean? Now you saw now this auditor responsibility is a big paragraph. See, let's see in a real life audit report. Can you see this paragraph? It's quite a long paragraph, right? So SA 700 is giving you 3 options. It's telling you that this auditor's responsibility, you can put in 3 ways. You can put in the audit report itself. What has Infosys audit report done? It has put in the audit report itself. You can put the audit responsibility paragraph in the audit report, or you can put as an annexure. Okay. So what if Suppose it was not like this. Suppose it was like auditor's responsibility covered in Appendix 21, like this. Can like this also be done? Yes, like that also you can do. So second way of writing auditor's responsibility is that you can write it as an appendix, or you can give a reference to a website of appropriate authority when you are allowed to do so. So you can just give a reference that you can find all the responsibilities of auditor in this link or in this website. So these are the three options, but this is the most popular. Mostly this only from the audit reports I have seen in my entire career. Mostly the first type is only used, but there are three options available in SA 700 that for auditor responsibility, you can put it in the auditor's report, you can add an appendix, or you can give a reference to the website. That's done. Now, auditor's responsibility, this is same paragraph that is given. Messrs. Ajay Vijay and Associates are statutory auditors of Sarovar Limited. For financial year 21-22, the company is engaged in the business of manufacture of water bottles. At the time of finalizing the auditor's report, one of the audit team members asked CA Ajay, the engagement partner, to advise as to how auditor's responsibility can be shown in an appendix. Draft the paragraph. Our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance. This all is there. Reasonable assurance is high insurance. So they have given a starting small paragraph. Now see this part. A further description of our responsibilities is included in Appendix X. This description is located in this page number. And this is also a part of auditor's report. Do you see how appendix is used? Is that clear to everyone? So you give a small starting that we have obtained reasonable assurance that it is free from material misstatement. We are giving high level of assurance, but it is not a guarantee. So it is not necessary that misstatements can still arise from all this is given. It's one small paragraph. But here they have mentioned that more responsibilities you can find in Appendix X. That's it. So this is a small example. Now come to other reporting responsibilities. Now come to other reporting responsibilities. I'll show you an example of this. Other reporting responsibilities. Can you see? So other than the primary report that you're making, so suppose you're making as per Ind AS framework. Here you can mention as per what other acts and laws you have to make the report. So this we will study in this chapter, that how a report is made under Companies Act. Then we will also study something called as CARO. Have you heard about CARO? CARO will also be covered. Is that clear? So other reporting responsibilities means what? As per other laws and regulations. So it can include like 143(3). It can include CARO. So whatever extra things we need to report on, it is covered in this area. So after everything is done, other reporting responsibilities. That's it. Now come to last parts. Signature, place, and date. Okay. I'll just explain this quickly first. So whenever there is a report, do I need to sign that report? Obviously, ma'am. It's called as power of a CA's signature, right? So we have to sign it. But now suppose if my CA firm name is ABC and Associates. And if I put ABC and Associates seal, is that enough? Or do I have to personally write my name also in the report? Do I have to personally write the partner's name, or can I just write the firm name and it's enough? My name is mandatory. So it will have firm name, member name. Can I just write my name, CA Akruti Dalmia, or do you think there can be many other Akruti Dalmias? What is my unique identity if I'm a CA? My membership number, right? My membership number is my unique identity. So you also have to write membership number. Like we have membership numbers after we become CA, firms have firm registration number. Firms have firm registration number. So firm registration number is also there in any audit report. Okay. So you also have to write firm registration number. Then we also have to mention the place. Place is usually where the report is signed. Where report is signed. Okay. Place is where the report is signed. And date, obviously, date of the report. Date when the report is signed. Now there is something very interesting. Pay attention here. Up until, let's say, even 9-10 years back, there was this big scam going on that people who were not CAs, they used to sign audit by writing that they are a CA and some fake membership number. And there was no way for the bank or the users to know that whether they are actually CA and whether this report is actually checked by a CA. So in 2019, a very, very good initiative was launched called as UDIN. UDIN, which is basically a unique document identification number. Unique document identification number. So after 2019, it became compulsory that whenever a CA is certifying anything, whenever a CA is certifying anything, whether it's a report or a certificate, each document needs to have its own identification number. So what we CAs have, we can log in into with our membership number and our password into this UDIN portal that is created by ICAI. I can put all the details of the company that I'm auditing, and a unique number will be created, which has to be put on each report. Can you see it? Like this, you have to put the UDIN. Okay. So each audit that we do has a unique number. Now, what happens? Suppose you are a banker and you get this report. You can go to the portal and you can click verify UDIN. So you can put the UDIN number there. You will get an OTP, and then it will show you that whether this UDIN was properly generated by UDIN portal of ICAI or not. So it gives a full proof mechanism to confirm that the document has actually been verified by the CA, on which date it has been verified, and the client or any other non-CA cannot manipulate it. So this UDIN is very, very important. Everyone clear? So each report has a UDIN. So this, we are on the last part of our 700. Signature of the auditor. What all will be? You have to sign it. It has engagement partner's personal name. You also have to put personal name and name of the firm. Then you also have to mention your membership number. You have to put registration number of the firm. Everyone clear? Place is already done. Date is already done. That's it. Just remember this. Date cannot be earlier than your evidence date. So if I have a written representation in my hand, which I have taken into consideration to make the report, that is from 30th September, can my report date be 25th September? If my last evidence date is 30th September, there's no difference between them. They're interchangeably used. Place of signature is same as location. Same only. No difference. Yes, all evidence dates should be before your audit report date, cannot be earlier than audit evidence date. That is what it is mentioning. So audit report date cannot be earlier than audit evidence date. Everyone clear? All right. Simple concept. Next. UDIN I have already mentioned to you. So this was created. You can just remember unique document identification number. All certificates are made mandatory from 1st February 2019. Now just remember, only CAs who have full-time COP can register on UDIN portal. Okay. Accordingly, an auditor is required to mention UDIN with respect to each audit report being signed along with membership number. Just remember, full-time if you have COP, then you can generate UDIN. So this is the structure, name of the firm, mention chartered accountants, firm registration number, signature, name of member, designation means whether you are a partner or you are a proprietor, membership number, UDIN, place and date. Finished. Yeah, just mention it's an 18-digit. (18-digit alphanumeric). All right. That's it, students. This part is a repetition, so you don't have to study it separately. So this part is just repetition of title, address, opinion, and all that. So it's just repeated. But just remember one small thing. Answer this question. This report format has been given by SA 700. Now, if Companies Act gives its own format or Insurance Act gives its own format, which format will the auditor use? SA 700 or specified by the law? We have to follow the law, right? We have to follow that law. But here, SA 700 is saying that you still need to have basic minimum things like title, addressee, opinion should be there. Financial statements have been audited. We are independent of the entity. Ethics have been covered. These basic things will not change. It will be part of all audit reports. Is that clear? So this you don't have to learn anything. This is again repetition. So auditor's signature, date, place, everything is similar. So you don't have to memorize this. You can just go through once and then you don't have to repeat it. All right, next. Now can you see illustration 8? This is a whole audit report. It's going on. Just write down sample audit report. Like I was showing you Infosys audit report, na? Why was I showing you? Because I wanted to show you what an audit report looks like. That is why Institute has given it by default in the book that if you want to see what an audit report looks like altogether, you can just see it here. Do you have to memorize this? You only tell me logically. Do you have to memorize this whole 7 pages? Is this to be memorized? This is what's till here, or this is just for reference? Not to memorize, obviously, ma'am. So this is just given for your reference that whatever you have studied, how does it look like? How does it look like in real life? That's it. So here we are done with essay number 700. Everyone is clear? Essay number 700 is done. What all we have to remember from this? We have to remember the initial points, evaluations by the auditor. Then we have to come to the essay qualitative approach. Neutrality needs to be maintained. That all I taught you in the first lecture. Then we have to come to the contents. In that, we have to specifically remember opinion paragraph. Basis for opinion paragraph, you have to remember nicely. Then you have to remember the responsibilities of management and responsibility of auditor. These are the main 4-5 things that you have to put more effort in, and rest you can just go through when the time comes. Okay. That's it. Now we are moving on to next essay. This essay, can anyone tell me, have I already taught you this essay? Essay 705, modifications to opinion. When did I teach you? What did I teach you? What opinions I taught you? Tell me the names. Modified opinion. What are the 3 types of modified opinion? What are the 3 types of modified opinion? Qualified, adverse, disclaimer. Yes, correct. Good. Which opinion do we give if we are able to obtain audit evidence and it is material and pervasive? Misstatement is material and pervasive. We have obtained audit evidence and the misstatement is material and pervasive. Which opinion? Adverse. Adverse. Very good. Brilliant. Very good. All right. What opinion do we give if we are unable to obtain evidence and the possible effects will be material and pervasive? What opinion do we give if we are unable to obtain audit evidence and the possible effects will be material and pervasive? Disclaimer, 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 ma'am, disclaimer, disclaimer. Very good. I'm very happy. So you remember all this, right? Okay. So this is what this essay is about, but there are a few extra things that I'll just tell you now. Okay. Few more things are there that I'll just tell you. Main is the opinion and how do we decide what is material, what is pervasive. This is the main thing. So I'll just tell you a few more things. If you'll remember, we did this part. Yeah, here we did. So qualified is given when it is true and fair view, except something. Okay, so we always write it, the financial statement show true and fair view except XYZ. Okay, when do we give it? When we have obtained a sufficient appropriate audit evidence that misstatement exists, it is material but not pervasive, or we are unable to obtain audit evidence, misstatement can exist, the possible effects can be material but not pervasive. When do we give adverse? It's what do we write? What is the language we use? Not showing true and fair view. When do we give it? When you have obtained evidence that material statement exists and it is material and pervasive. And when do we give disclaimer of opinion? That we are unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence and the possibilities of effects of misstatement will be both material and pervasive. This was small thing that we did. Now I just wanted to discuss a few things. Okay. Suppose I have reached a conclusion that it is qualified opinion. So can I write like this? It shows true and fair view, except some stock and data. Can I write like this? Can I write except some stock and data? Or do I need to give a number? Do I need to tell how much stock and data is? Do I need to tell, can I keep it vague, or do I need to give a quantity to it? Do I need to give a quantity to it? I need to. It's called as quantification. So, to the extent possible, quantify the effects of material misstatement. Okay? To the extent it is possible, even if it's qualified, even if it's adverse, you need to try and quantify the effects of material misstatement. Okay? If it is not practical, sorry. If it's not practical, mention it. Reason. So if you feel that you cannot quantify due to some reason, you have to mention the reason. Okay? You have to mention that why you can't quantify it. Now tell me this. If you are unable to obtain, when do we give qualified or disclaimer? When we are unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. But what if you are unable to obtain due to limitation by management? Okay. I am unable to obtain evidence because management is imposing some limitations. So suppose I want to send external confirmations. Everyone knows external confirmations. Which essay is external confirmation? Quickly tell me. Which essay is external confirmation? Quickly, which essay is external confirmation? 505. Perfect, Adil. You have replied first. So if I want to send external confirmation to some data, and I want to see some, for loans, for unsecured loans also, I want to send external confirmations. But for everything, management is not cooperating with me. They're not giving me their email addresses, or they're not giving me their addresses with PIN code so that I can send them a letter or I can send them an email. So due to some problem of management, I am unable to obtain. Okay. Why you are not able to obtain? Due to limitation. Now what to do? Now, what should auditor do? Will I directly give adverse and qualified opinion? Management didn't let me, finished. I'll directly give qualified opinion. Or do I have to make some efforts? Okay. So first what you do, if management is not giving, request management, do a meeting with them. It may happen that the accountant is not cooperating or the manager is not cooperating, but the CEO might cooperate. Request, do a meeting. If agree, then perform procedures. But what if they don't agree? They are still, I'm requesting them, but they're still not giving me the information, or they are not lifting up their limitation that they have imposed. What will I do? What can I do? I can go and talk to TCWG. I can tell them that this is the problem happening. Okay. I can also perform alternative audit procedures. I can also perform alternative audit procedures, but still unable to obtain I am still unable to obtain, and because of this, unable to give opinion. What I can do, I can either withdraw from engagement or give a modified opinion. Why is this structure important? It means we cannot give up just at the first time we face some problem. If we face some problem in not getting information, we should first try to discuss with management. If they're agreeing, then perform audit procedures and continue with your work. If they don't agree, perform alternative procedures. Talk to TCWG. But you're still unable to obtain, unable to give opinion, then either withdraw from the engagement if L&R permits. If L&R permits, then you can withdraw from the engagement. Otherwise, you have to give modified opinion. This much is clear to everyone? This process is clear. This process is very important. Okay. Now, this one additional thing I wanted to teach you. So now we'll go through the report and see a few important things, essay, that you have to go through. So remember first the name, just write down here in the title itself, you can write essay 705. Write down so that you never forget it, that this is essay number 705. What is the name of the essay? Modifications to the opinion in independent auditors report. Okay. Just ignore this part. Just pay attention here. Modifications of opinion is qualified, adverse, and disclaimer. Circumstances when you have to issue a modified opinion. When you have obtained evidence that financial statements are not free from misstatements, or when you are unable to audit evidence that they are free from material misstatement. Those situations, two situations you give this modified opinion. When you have found evidence there is some misstatement, we are unable to find that there is some misstatement. In both situations, we give qualified, right? TCWG means, ma'am, I discussed in my first lecture, Mujahid. TCWG, just imagine that you are a family, your parents are your management who take care of day-to-day problems, day-to-day expenses, day-to-day management. Grandparents who see overall what's going on. They don't participate every day. Same, one more example I gave, school example. If you're running a school, the teachers, the principals, all the staff is your daily management. But the trustees of the school, school committee members, those are usually the governance people, TCWG, people who are in charge with the governance, but they do not participate in the day-to-day activities, and they overall just see, they don't actually go on ground and do work every day, but any major decision in the company cannot happen without their consent. So they are people above management. Okay. Is that clear, Mujahid? Okay. What is the objective of this essay? So that I can express clearly whatever is my opinion. This all is repetition. Here you don't have to study. Just simple you can give. That auditor can express clearly that is necessary when auditor concludes that financial statements are not free from material misstatement based on audit evidence obtained. Auditor is unable to obtain evidence that they are free from material misstatement. This is same as what we saw in this small flow chart. Three types are there. Qualified. This I have already taught you fully. Okay. But these topics extremely important. Theory plus case study plus MCQ plus concept. There's no topic as important as being clear about what types of audit opinions are there. They can come as theory, they can come as case studies, they can come as MCQ, they can come as conceptual questions, any way they can come. When can we give qualified opinion? They can also tell you in exam, it can be asked that write in short about qualified opinion and adverse opinion. So then you have to write theory also. So that's why theory is important. So auditor shall express a qualified opinion when you have obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence that individually or aggregate misstatements are material but not pervasive. Do you remember in the flow chart I mentioned all of this. So if you properly do that flow chart, everything will be covered. Then auditor is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Never in exam write unable to obtain audit evidence. Unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Never forget that. Small things are important in audit because the writing style, the language is the base of audit. Okay. So auditor concludes that the possible effects of undetected misstatements could be material but not pervasive. Again, everything is covered. This example is good. Super Duper Limited is a company engaged in the manufacture of office furniture. Messrs. Young, Old and Associates are statutory auditors of the company for financial year 21-22. During the year under audit, the engagement partner CA Young noticed that the company has not bifurcated its loans in long term and short term. CA Young understands that such misstatement is not pervasive, but it is material. In question, they will mention whether it is material and pervasive or material and not pervasive. In exam, they will mention in question whether it is material and pervasive or material and not pervasive. So if they have not divided the loans into long term and short term, it is material but not pervasive. So which opinion will we give? Qualified opinion. Everyone clear? Next is adverse opinion. Again, theory plus MCQ plus case study and plus conceptually. Everything is important. Adverse opinion you can get as short notes in exam. Again, qualified, mention this, pervasive for theory answer. They can ask you a short note on definition of pervasive. You can be asked in exam, what is pervasive? Pervasive is used in the context of misstatements to describe effects or possible effects that are undetected due to inability. So pervasive effects are those, this is the main, here is where answer starts. Pervasive are those that in auditor's judgment are not confined. Confined means not limited. They are not confined or not limited to some specific elements or accounts and items, which means it is not something that is just affecting stock. It is not something that is just affecting the assets. It has a larger effect. Okay. So it is not limited to specific accounts. But if it is limited, which means if it is affecting only stock, but stock is 80% value of the asset of the company, then does it become pervasive? Yes. So even if it is affecting only stock, it is such a big because stock is a substantial portion of the financial statements. And in relation to disclosures, they are fundamental to users' understanding of the financial statement. So if some disclosure is very important, but it is not given, that can also become pervasive. So you have to see as per situation whether something is pervasive or not. Next. This question is also good. Taj Raj and Associates are statutory auditors of Polex Limited engaged in the manufacture of premium watches for financial year 21-22. During the course of audit, CA Taj, the engagement partner, found that the stock and debtors of the company constituting about 80% of the total assets. 80%, you tell me whether it will be a pervasive item or a small item. If stock and debtors are 80%, are they substantial portion? They are substantial portions. So it will be very obvious in the question. You don't have to worry that how will I know whether it's pervasive or not. In question, it will be very, very clear. So they found that stocks and data of the company are not realizable. They are all maybe outdated, they are obsolete, or they have gotten destroyed. We don't know. They are not realizable. Further, the cashier of the company has committed a fraud during the year under audit. Both the facts are not reflected in the financial statements. Both these things they did not disclose. Is this disclosure important? Is this disclosure important that the company's stock are not realizable? The cashier has done fraud. Yes. Is this disclosure is very important, but have they given the disclosure? They have not. Accordingly, CA Taj is of the view that the impact of both the situations of financial statement is material and pervasive, and thus financial statement represent a distorted view of the state of affairs. Explain the reporting requirements. The auditor shall express an adverse opinion when auditor, having obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence, concludes the financial statements are both material and pervasive. In case of Polex Limited, CA Taj found that the stock and data of the company, constituting about 80% of total assets of the company, are not realizable. Further, the cashier of the company has committed a fraud during the year under audit. Such situations are not reflected in the financial statements of the company, despite having a material and pervasive impact. That's why they should give adverse opinion. We'll study about CARO. You have to report this in CARO also. You have to report this in fraud also under Companies Act. This we'll study later, but see, this actually is a very, very important question. Can you see in exam, it's necessary that they will only ask you essay question, or it can be an essay question which can also have AS points. It can also have Companies Act points. It can also have CARO points. Everything can come together in exam. So when I am an auditor, do you think when I go to the company and I'm checking data, or when I'm checking stock, should I also know AS2? If I'm checking stock, is it enough that I know only company law, or should I know AS2 also? I should know AS also. I should know whether CARO has a point for stock. I should also know whether audit report has a point for stock. I should know all multiple concepts can be part of a single case study. Okay. So this is a very good example. This question is a very good example of multiple concepts in a single question. Okay. Now, last one is disclaimer of opinion. Disclaimer of opinion, the auditor shall give the disclaimer when you are unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence, and the possible effects of the financial statements of undetected misstatements could be both material and pervasive. It is only used in extremely rare circumstances having multiple uncertainties. Okay. It is used very, very rarely. Very rarely. Okay. Come to this illustration. Delightful Limited is a company engaged in the production of smiley balls. You know those smiley balls, stress buster balls? During the FY 21-22, the company transferred its accounts to SAP, computer system, from manual accounts. Do you remember I gave this example? I gave this example already. Since the employees of the company were not well versed with the software of SAP, many errors are there in the accounting. As such, the statutory auditors were not able to extract any correct data and reports. Such data was not available manually also. Further, the employees and the management of the company were not supportive in giving additional information that was required. Explain the kind of audit report. So in this situation, which opinion should we give? Disclaimer of opinion. Very simple answer. No, SAP is the name of management and organizational software. SAP, Oracle, these are management softwares. Organizational softwares, ERP, enterprise resource planning. They basically help run a company or an organization. You go to hospitals, you go to cinema theaters. So they have a centralized software through which everything is maintained, which means tickets are maintained, HR payroll is maintained. All this is called ERP. So one of the type of ERP is SAP. Done? Okay. Now, which type of opinion is appropriate? This you can just keep in mind. This I have done many times with you, so I'm not repeating. Okay. This I have done multiple times. That financial statements materially misstated. This is like perfect revision box. This 4-pointer box is perfect for you to revise. Okay. Next. Consequence of inability to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence due to management imposed limitation. This, if you study the whole flow chart, very, very important. Important for theory plus case study plus MCQ. So this I already did with you. You are unable to obtain sufficient evidence because management has imposed some limitation. You will request the management to remove the limitation. Management removes the limitation, continue with your audit. Management refuses to remove the limitation, communicate with TCWG and perform alternative procedures. Still unable to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence. Possible effects are material but not pervasive, qualified. Possible effects are material and pervasive, withdraw from the engagement or disclaimer of opinion. Done. We already did this. Any doubt in this? This whole part is done. This I already explained to you. This is covered here. See, if after accepting engagement, auditor becomes aware that management is putting some limitation, auditor shall request the management to remove the limitation. Same thing, management refuses to remove the limitation, the auditor shall communicate with those charged with governance. Unless all of the management and TCWG are same. If management is same as TCWG, will we do this step? If all the people of management are same as TCWG, then we will not do this step, obviously. Okay. So if TCWG and management are separate people, then you can do this step. So you will do this. Ma'am, can you please explain disclaimer of opinion? Let me just finish this. I'll explain again. Okay. The entire audit exercise has to be done as per the timeline of audit engagement. Yes. Not just audit engagement, also as per the timeline of laws and regulations. So if management refuses to remove the limitation, auditor can communicate the matter to TCWG and perform alternative procedures. So this whole thing that you are seeing in flowchart form, same is written in theory, nothing else. Completed? That's it. This is also finished. Messrs. Daisy and Associates are statutory auditors of Zebra Limited. CA Daisy, the engagement partner, wants to verify the cash in hand as on 31st-3. The cash balance of company is 1 lakh rupees and the turnover of the company is 6 crores. The management of the company informs CA Daisy that cash verification is not possible as cashier is on leave for his marriage and no other employee is available as they are busy. So they are not letting me verify the cash. So if after accepting the engagement, the auditor becomes aware that management is trying to impose some limitation, this limitation may not be very upfront. No, you can't check. They may be making excuses. Okay. Then you have to decide what you have to do. In present case, the statutory auditor is unable to verify cash. The same is due to a limitation imposed by the management of Zebra Limited, which is non-availability of cashier. In such situation, Daisy should perform alternate procedures to verify cash. Further, Daisy should consider the impact on auditor's report and may see if qualified opinion is necessary. Done? Finished, everyone? Okay. So you wanted to know what is disclaimer of opinion? Disclaimer of opinion is a situation when who asked this question? I forgot. So whoever you are, you ask this question. So disclaimer of opinion means that I am trying to do audit, but either the books are completely destroyed by flood or earthquake, or all the books of accounts are not available. So I am able to check nothing that is of importance. And when I'm not able to check, I am not able to find evidence. When I'm not able to find any evidence, I'm not able to do audit and I can't give an opinion. So in a situation when we are not able to find evidences that are both material and pervasive, we give disclaimer of opinion, which means disclaimer means I'm not giving any opinion. Is that clear? How do we write qualified opinion? Again, I have explained this. Qualified opinion may we use this except word. Except the effects of matters described in basis of opinion paragraph. Except for the effects as described in basis of opinion paragraph. Rest is same. Rest will write present fairly, true and fair view. All that is same. But we'll just add this sentence, except the effects of matter described in basis of opinion paragraph. If it is due to inability to obtain evidence, you have not found evidence, then we'll write except for the possible effects. You'll add one word. If you have found evidence, okay? If you have found evidence, then we'll write because of the effects. If you have been unable to find evidence, then we'll write except for possible effects. You'll just add one more word, possible effects. Okay. Next, adverse opinion. Adverse opinion, in that we will straightforwardly write it do not present fairly or do not give true and fair view. And if it is a compliance framework, we will write financial statements have not been prepared as per the applicable reporting framework. So what do we write? Do not present fairly. Do not give true and fair view. Straightforward. And when it is disclaimer of opinion, we write we were engaged in audit. We cannot write we have audited. Okay, this is again repetition. So when auditor disclaims due to inability to obtain, the auditor does not express an opinion. The auditor has not been able to find sufficient appropriate audit evidence. You have to write the auditor was engaged to audit. You cannot write we have audited. You have to write we were engaged in audit. You will also not write that I have obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence. You have to write I have not been able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Okay. Now basis for opinion paragraph. Here you can just mention quantification. Just mention here quantification. There's a question. Ma'am, can you tell me the consequences the companies tend to face in case of qualified opinion? If your report has qualified opinion, the banks will not give you loan. Your share market price will crash. Investors will sell. You will not get government and international tenders, and you will lose your credibility with creditors. Is that clear? Adverse is the worst. Yes, adverse is the worst. Now, quantification. If there is a misstatement that relates to specific amounts in financial statements, the auditor shall include basis for opinion, a description and quantification of the financial effects. Okay, unless impractical. If it is not practical, the auditor will mention that it is not practical. Okay. If the misstatement is due to some narrative disclosures, narrative means you did not mention that you have lost your data. You did not mention that tax authority may also doubt. Correct, Kuldeep. So if there is due to some disclosure, you are getting adverse opinion, then you have to mention that how the disclosures are incorrect. Okay. If there is a material misstatement on financial statement that relates to non-disclosure of information required to be disclosed, you have to first discuss the non-disclosure with TCWG, describe it properly in basis of opinion paragraph, and unless prohibited by law, include the omitted disclosures. What does it mean? एक disclosure होना चाहिए था financial statement में. One disclosure should have been there. It is not there, because of which I am giving a modified opinion. Then I can mention that because of this wrong disclosures, I'm giving this modified opinion, and here are the correct disclosures, if you are allowed to give those correct disclosures as per law and regulation. Okay. And if the modification is due to inability to obtain sufficient information, then you have to mention the reason for that inability. If I'm not able to obtain evidence, you have to mention why am I not able to obtain evidence. Very simple. Okay. These are all concepts. They are not one single answer. They're not something that you can write in one go. They're small concepts. Okay. When auditor has expressed qualified, so you cannot write basis of opinion paragraph. You have to write basis of adverse opinion, basis of qualified opinion. So you have to include the word adverse and qualified. And when you disclaim an opinion, the audit report shall not include a reference to auditor's report where auditor's responsibilities are there. And you have to mention that audit evidence obtained is sufficient. You cannot mention that. So these are the special things that happen in an audit report which has disclaimer of opinion. Basis of opinion, can you explain through your flow chart? Okay, simple. Come here. Now, if suppose you want to give modified opinion. If it is due to you have obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence that some amount is misstated. What is misstated? An amount is misstated. Then you try to quantify that amount. If not possible, mention the reason. This much is clear? Now, if you have found sufficient appropriate audit evidence that disclosures are misstated. Here, what was misstated? Amount was misstated. Here, disclosures are misstated. Then, in the basis of opinion paragraph, mention the wrong disclosure and then, if L&R permits, you can mention correct disclosure. This much is clear, Harsh? Easy? Now are you able to understand? Now, if unable to obtain, if you are unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence, then in the basis paragraph, you have to give reason for inability. That's it. If you're giving modified opinion, you have found evidence, there is some misstatement is due to some amount. If you can quantify, mention quantification. If not, mention reason. If you're giving modified opinion, you have found evidence, some disclosures are misstated, then mention the wrong disclosure, and if NLR permits, give the correct disclosure. If you're unable to obtain evidence, then give reason for inability to obtain evidence. Finish. Easy. Is that clear? Okay. All right. Last part, then this is open. Let me take screenshot. Okay. Take screenshot. Done. Can I shift? We are about to finish. I want to do the MCQs. All right. Okay. That's it. Now here one more important thing, that whenever you are doing disclaimer of opinion, you cannot have KM. I already told you. And whenever you are modifying opinion, first communicate with TCWG that why am I giving this, and also check the wording. So tell them this is how I am going to write the paragraph. This is what all I am going to write. Discuss with them, inform them. Okay. All right. So here we are done with essay number 705. It's a fully conceptual essay which will help you in everything else. Okay. Let me quickly do a few MCQs and then we are done. Which of the following is not correct? You tell me. 706 emphasis of matter paragraph, 701 key audit matters paragraph, 705 comparative information, 700 forming an opinion. Tell me quickly which is incorrect. Which is incorrect? C. Correct, everyone? C. C. Because what is 705? We just studied modifications, right? So answer C. Communicating key audit matters is a substitute for reporting in accordance with SA 570, not a substitute for disclosures in financial statements that are required. It's a substitute for expressing a modified opinion. It's a separate opinion. Which is the correct answer? Communicating key audit matters is a substitute. It's not a substitute. Very good. B. Next. In audit report, a description that audit was performed in accordance with standards of auditing is given in which section? Do you remember? I gave this as an example. A description that audit was performed as per standards of auditing is given in which? Shall I tell you? Which is the correct answer now? Tell me. Has your answer changed? C. Many of you made the mistake. It's not D. I gave you this example also. It's C. If the prior period, this I have actually not covered. These two parts could not get covered today. From here we can do the previous month here. Key audit matter section enhances communicative value of auditor's report, disclosure of internal controls, auditor's independence, or reporting legal compliance. What does key audit matter paragraph enhance? What does key audit matter paragraph enhance? A. Very good. Very good. Which of the following standard deals with key audit matters? Which standard deals with key audit matters? 701. Done. So students, we have done up till 705. We have finished. Any doubt? Anyone wants to ask something? I hope you all enjoyed the lecture today. If anyone has anything to ask, I'll wait for a minute. If not, we can end the lecture. I don't think anyone has anything to ask. Okay, no questions. It was very engaging session, ma'am. Thank you. It's my pleasure. I just want all of you to learn nicely, properly. Thank you. All right. I don't think there's any more questions. Ma'am, any action from MCA in case of unqualified opinion? Depends. What kind of qualification have you given? Have you given a qualification that is regarding non-compliance of Companies Act? So then MCA might take. But if suppose the qualification that you have given is more related to Income Tax Act, then it may not take. Or if the qualification you have given is due to AS. So it depends on what kind of qualification it is. If it is in the interest areas. Okay. Harsh, I have not uploaded because yesterday's MCQs had some questions that were related, that classes had some questions that were related to today's class. So once the next class is also done, then I'll upload, okay? Ma'am, I missed earlier lecture of yours, but I enjoyed offline because it's very interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. You explained very clearly. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. I think we are done with the session. Technical team, can we end the lecture? Yes, it's done. All right. Okay, everyone. See you in the next lecture. Keep studying. Bye.